it's Miss Cavallero again. We're going to read Chapter 2 of Snot Stew. So before we get started reading Chapter 2, we're going to be having the focus question, which is, how is the story more interesting being told from the cat's point of view? And your two vocabulary words are belched and feisty. And looks like our first vocabulary word is right on our very first page. So Chapter 2. A cloud of dust belched up from the hay. I peeked out from under Toby's ear, where I was trying to hide. I blinked, trying to clear the dust from my eyes. So belched just means that something came up and kind of puffed out. So if you just kind of think about, like, if you had baby powder and you squeeze the baby powder, how that white baby powder dust fluffs up into the air. That's what they mean when they're saying belched. So it means that something is puffing out. People stood there. It was a man people. He towered above us. He glared down with a mean, nasty look. I was scared and wanted to run. Only I couldn't. Toby couldn't either. I tried to get my feet to my feet, but I was shaking so hard, nothing would move. The man people frowned. He scratched his chin with a huge paw. I'll be, his deep roaring voice boomed. That much racket? I thought there must be 50 cats under here. Not just 2. Then he leaned down. His huge paw reached out and snatched Toby up with the back of his neck. I closed my eyes. I was trembling so hard, I thought I was going to get buried in the hay. Then his other big paw grabbed me. He lifted me from my bed where my house used to be. I felt everything go stiff. My arms went straight. My feet tried to run, but the ground wasn't there. There was nothing but air. I twisted and turned and wiggled. I felt my claws pop out, and I cried and cried. Suddenly, I was looking at the man people square in the eye. He held me by the back of the neck. You're a feisty little thing, his voice roared. So there's your vocabulary word, feisty. So think about if she's scratching and wiggling and turning and clawing at him and crying. Feisty must mean that she's like a fighter, right? It made my ears lie back against my neck. I was so scared I wanted to die. I twisted and flopped some more. It didn't do any good. Oh, Daddy, other people squealed. A kitten. Oh, Daddy, may I see? Me too, Daddy. I want to see one too. It was yet another people. There were people things all over the place. Loud, noisy, scary people things everywhere. I stuck my claws out again and was so stiff I thought I was going to break. I scratched my eyes tight and glared at the man people with the meanest look I had. If I could just get my claws into you, I thought, just one time, I bet you'd let me go then. The man people only smiled. Another man people rushed up beside him. It was a boy, I think. He was smaller than the man. He had a blue cloth on his bottom half and red cloth, checked cloth on his top half. And his hair was brown, the same brown as the spot next to Toby's tail. Let me see, Daddy, he squealed. So using your context clues, where it says, let me see, Daddy, the littler boy is probably his son. So we have a daddy and we have a son so far. May I hold him? Please, please, please? The man people handed Toby the boy. I shuddered again. Remember, shuddered from our other books that we've read means that you're kind of like shake a little bit. We're going to eat them? Are they going to eat him? Were the people things going to bite my brother's head off? Were they going to toss him in the air and hold him by one of his tails and gobble him down like we did a mouse? I couldn't stand to watch. I closed my eyes. Meow, I cried, which meant, you're my brother, Toby. I love you. Goodbye. The people The boy people didn't toss him in the air. He didn't hold him by his tail. He didn't bite him. He just cuddled Toby in his arms. He held him tight and stroked his fur and talked real soft in his ear. Another voice made me jump. I stuck out my claws again. "Oh, Daddy," it squeaked. "May I have that one?" So that must be the daughter. So you have a daddy, a son, and now a daughter. "Please, Daddy, she's so cute. May I, Daddy? Oh, please, please, please." My eyes flashed open. I saw another people right beside me. This people thing was different from the other two. It had on a cloth thing that was the same color from top to bottom. It was blue and full and rustled in the breeze. So it's probably a dress. Its hair was long and yellow-colored, like a spot near Toby's ear. Its voice was higher and not so loud. It must be a girl people. "I don't know," the man people growled in my ear. "This one's not as gentle as the other one. I'm afraid this one's scared." "Darn right I'm scared," I meowed at him. "Just let me get my claws into you and I'll show you how scared." "Tell you what," the man people said. "Let's let this one go. You and Ben can play with the other one." "But Daddy," the girl people whined, "Ben's got a kitty. I want a kitty too. Please, Daddy. Ben never shares anything with me. I want my own kitty." The man people squeezed harder at the back of my neck. I felt him shake. "Now hold on just a minute." His voice was deeper. "I never said anything about keeping them. I thought you could just play with them out here. And, Ben, where are you going with that cat?" Toby, the boy people, and the boy people who was holding him disappeared out the door. The man followed him, still holding my neck. "Ben, come back here with that cat. Ben, mind me. Ben!" But Ben kept going. The girl people was right beside me. "Daddy, please, please, may I have one too?" She jumped up and down, grabbing at me. The man lifted me higher. My tail twisted, but all I could do was flip and flop in mid-air. "Daddy is such a pretty kitty. Please, Daddy. Oh, please." "Now, Sarah." She jumped up and down again. "Oh, please, please, please." So I'm going to stop here real quick and think to yourself if you can make a connection to a time that you really, really wanted something, but maybe your mom or dad or grandmom or grandpop said no to you. So think about the ways that you might have convinced them to give you what you wanted. So that's what Sarah's trying to do, the daughter. All right, back to the story. Toby and the boy people named Ben disappeared through a big door in the other barn. I just knew I'd never seen my brother again. "Daddy, please, pretty please, with sugar on top. Please." The man people named Daddy sighed. He turned around to look at the girl people named Sarah. "Oh, all right. I don't much take to cats in the house. They need to be out here in the barn to get rid of the mice. But if you really want her..." "Oh, Daddy," the Sarah people squealed as she jumped up and down. I do, I do, I do." Daddy handed me to Sarah. He put her paw where his had been, at the loose spot on my skin at the back of my neck. "You be careful," he warned. "She's scared, and she'll scratch you. Don't let her get her claws. Sarah, don't let her get near your eyes. Sarah." The girl people wasn't listening to Daddy. She took off running across the big yard with me dangling in the air. She ran across the big open outdoor space between the barns. "This is it," I told myself with a louder meow. "This is the end of me. They're going to take me into that other barn and eat me." So we know they're not really going to eat the kitty cats, right? But you could still stop here and think to yourself what it would feel like to be a cat and be helpless and not get to do what you want to do. And this is the first time that poor little Kiki has ever even seen a human, and now it's carrying her around. So here's the illustration of Kiki and Sarah. So Sarah's carrying her like that so Kiki doesn't scratch her. But you can see Sarah's face. You could draw some inferences about how Sarah might be feeling using the picture, using what she said to her dad. She's obviously very excited and happy about getting this kitty cat. But let's get back to our focus question now. So our focus question was, how is the story more interesting being told from the cat's point of view? So how is it more interesting with the cat describing the people, the cat describing what she thinks is going to happen, the cat describing what she thinks is going to happen to her brother? So think about how all that made it a little bit more interesting. And then remember, your vocabulary words are belched and feisty. All right, so have fun learning at home, and we're going to read chapter 3 tomorrow.